Welcome everyone. Welcome back to the people who have already been with us this morning. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Excellent. I see lots of thumbs up. Perfect. Have Kat with us. Kat is from the Greater Vancouver Zoo, and she is going to take it away. And then at the end, I will help Kat with the question and answer at the end. But she's going to teach us some things. All right?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So my name is Kat, and I work at the Greater Vancouver Zoo. So give me a hands up if you've been to the Greater Vancouver Zoo before. Yeah? Fantastic. Well, the animals here sure do miss you all, and we're really hoping to reopen the zoo later down the road. We just got to wait for confirmation that it'll be okay for us to reopen, and then you guys can see your favorite animals again. So that'll be pretty exciting. So in the meantime, we're doing these live shows just so you can feel somewhat still connected to us, because we haven't gone away. We're still here, and our animals are doing very well. So what we're going to talk about today is reptiles. Thumbs up if you like reptiles. Fantastic. A lot of reptile fans. Very good. So reptiles have been around for a very long time. So even as long as 315 million years. That's a really long time. So they have adapted to changes in conditions in the earth. And they all actually started out looking a lot like today's lizards. So they have different forms that they'd go through, like for example, snakes. Who here is afraid of snakes? Raise your hands. Is anyone afraid of snakes? No? Wow, you guys are all brave. So snakes, for example, they're not too far off from looking like a lizard, right? They just got no legs. Where did their legs go? So over time, scientists believe that they dropped their legs and they became very slithery. So who's to say if that is true or not, but that's what scientists believe. So there are a lot of different types of looks of reptiles out there. And I did bring you out today a certain reptile that we're going to talk a lot about. And he's waiting. He's actually quite active today. He's been eager to meet you all. But we're going to start off by thinking about some reptiles. So first of all, I already gave you the one. We've got the snake, right? We have a really strong jaw. So that could be like a crocodile or an alligator, right? They have really strong jaws. We walk really slowly. So we're thinking tortoise or a turtle, right? So there's another reptile. Or I can be as small as your thumb here. We're thinking geckos, lizards, right? So they can just be as small as your thumb when they're born. So those are some different types of reptiles, and reptiles are invertebrates. So they have a backbone and they're covered in their scales. So all reptiles do have a backbone, and they are also ectothermic. So they can't be warm like us. You know, when you're getting really warm or you're cold, you take off a sweater, you put on a sweater. If our reptiles are cold, I can't put a sweater on a snake. It's not going to heat his body up, okay? So they're cold-blooded. So what we have to do is make sure that they are in tanks with big UV red lamps, so it keeps them in the proper temperature. If they find they're getting too hot, then they can move out of the lamp and find a shadier area, but they're always able to have a warm temperature. That's the same going when we bring our reptiles outside. They love to come outside and get the nice natural vitamin D from that sun, but we have to make sure that the sun is out and it's a good temperature, or they're going to get really cold. So when you see our reptiles out and about on our grounds, it's because it's a nice day and they're able to keep warm all the time. So that's a little fun facts about reptiles in general. What I have here though is pictures. We're going to look at some pictures of the type of reptile that I brought out today. Now, what I love to talk about with children or adults in general is what is the difference between a tortoise and a turtle? What's the difference, right? Well, one's on land, one's in the water. So there are differences about these guys, but there's two similarities. They're both reptiles, and they both lay eggs on land. That's it. That's all they have in common. Other than that, they don't have much in common. So this guy swims. This guy walks on land. Turtles do walk on land too, but they are more in the water. Whereas this guy, he's going to be walking around on land. He cannot be in the water. So if we were to put a tortoise in the water, he would drown. There is no way that he can get out because they have very heavy shells and very stocky, sturdy feet, okay? And they don't have webbed toes, whereas this guy here, he has a smooth, flat shell, and he's got webbed toes to help him glide through that water. And his shell is lighter weighted, so it's not a heavy shell, so he can go through the water a lot quicker, and he can be adaptable to that water, whereas this guy, he can't survive. But that being said, they do still go to the water to drink. So you would find these guys more around the desert area, savanna, and when they go without water, they can live without water for quite a while, because when they do find the water, they drink about 70% of their weight with water, and they store it in their shell. So they can go for a very long time. So that's the difference between a tortoise and a turtle. Now I also have something really cool here, is a type of artifact. We have a turtle skull here, okay? Take a look at that. Pretty cool. And I want you guys to really think about this too. Here's the turtle shell, okay? Look at the inside of this turtle shell. Okay, I have another little piece here. I want you to take a really good look at that. You can see his spine. So like I told you, all reptiles have a backbone. So just like right in here, it's his rib cage right in here. So this artifact that we have is actually from an old turtle we had way back in the day called a red-eared slider. And those guys are actually invasive to our province. They're actually not supposed to be here, and they're wiping out our native turtle, the western painted turtle. So that's why here at the Greater Vancouver Zoo, we have our conservation program for the western painted turtle, because it's our only native species of pond turtle left. So we want to keep that because it's a very historic turtle. It's good, like it represents the First Nations people. So we want to make sure that we have those kind of turtles left in our province. So our zoo has a program where we're breeding all these turtles so they can go back out in the wild and live in the ponds. Now you guys are being really good and listening. I think we're ready to meet my special friend. So I'll bring him out. We have TT here. So TT is a spur-thighed tortoise. Okay, now TT, the reason they're called the spur-thighed tortoise is because they have spurs on the back of their legs here. And you would find this type of tortoise out in the Mediterranean area, like the Greek islands over around Greece. So that's where he would be found, okay? Now TT, he's a very special tortoise to us. He is 44 years old. That's an old tortoise, but he's still quite young because these guys can live approximately 100 years or more. One of the oldest tortoises ever lived, they were saying it was about 200. We could have maybe even a 500-year-old tortoise out there that we don't know, because we as humans, we don't live that long, right? So these guys, you never know, can live for a very, very long time. Now TT here, he is a herbivore, so he eats grass. And they can eat some produce as well. And they also love a special treat, which I'll show you just in a minute. But I want you guys to look at his feet. You notice his scales here and his claws, so he doesn't have webbed toes. And take a look at his mouth too. So he doesn't have any teeth, because I'm going to demonstrate, if he will do it, what's inside his mouth. But the top part here, when I'm touching TT, he feels that, okay? So we'd never want to smack a tortoise. He does feel that. It is made of bone and skin, and the top part of his shell is called the carapace, and the bottom part is called the plastron. And they're fused together with tiny bones. So this is like his rib cage, just like I showed you that artifact. So right here, starting down the middle, is his backbone, okay? So he is a reptile. They all have a backbone. So we want to be nice and careful with TT. Now, TT does not come out of his shell. He does not go inside his shell fully because that's where all his organs are, remember? Backbone. He's got all of his organs, his heart, his stomach, his liver. So he can't go fully in his shell. So what he's going to do, as I put him down here on my lap, is if he's upset, he's going to take his 2 front legs and he's going to do this, and then he's going to duck in a little bit. But he's not going to fully go into his shell. He can't emerge into it. Sorry there, TD. He's like, oh boy. So his other favorite treat, guys, is dandelions. So he loves dandelions. All tortoises do, but they can't eat buttercups. So it's a type of flower that can make them very sick. It's poisonous. And these guys are really cool. You just show you. As he munches, we gotta be careful with our fingers. We don't want to get it too close to TT's mouth here because it's like a bird beak. He will pinch and he probably won't let go. So I don't know how to get a tortoise off me, but he's a good boy. Oh, there we go. He just dropped some of his dandelion. And give him more. There you go, good boy. He loves his dandelions. I'm really tempted to wipe all the dandelion pellets off his face, but don't want to get my finger too close. There you go. Now these guys have, I'm going to put TT down for just a moment while he enjoys that. So tortoises, they have what they can see color. So they can only see colors of yellow, reds, and ultraviolets. So when there is a buttercup or a dandelion next to each other, to us it looks like the same yellow, but to a tortoise, he can tell the difference between the yellow shades. But we still want to make sure that all our buttercups, when we do have them on the ground, are all picked up because we don't want them to accidentally get a buttercup in his mouth because we don't want our tortoises sick. Okay. Now TT, he can move quite quickly. He can't move super fast as humans. I do outrun TT, but he does follow me around. He likes my shoes. Want another one? There you go. And how we got TT at the zoo is he actually used to be somebody's pet. So if you guys want a turtle or a tortoise as a pet, you got to know what you're getting into, okay? Because these guys can live very long. Like I said, he's already 44. And the previous owner didn't take very good care of his shell because it is made of bone and skin. So there's a lot of cracks and dents in TT right now. So he didn't have the proper UV lighting, the proper big enclosure when he was growing up, because when turtles and tortoises are born, they are born with their shell on, and not a lot of people know that. So when they're growing in a tight area, the shell is gonna grow with that tight area, okay? So you wanna make sure you have a huge area for these guys to grow in. There you go. So a lot of our reptiles that we have at the zoo actually used to be abandoned pets or were from illegal pet trades, because some reptiles are actually pretty illegal to own. So you want to make sure you're not having an illegal animal in your house. You gonna eat more? There you go. All right, so I'm gonna put TT back down because they don't fly. All right. And if you guys have any questions, I'm ready for the question part. And you can raise your hand if you do. Anybody have any questions?
Kat, do you want me to help you with this, or are you good to?
Yeah, you can help me.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we have Joshua.
Josh.
Yeah, he's at the bottom with his hand up. There you go. All right, take it away, Josh.
Where can you get a turtle?
Where can you get a turtle? Well, I believe some places, like some pet places, can sell turtles. I know I've seen some of them in some of your local pet stores, but you're gonna be your common turtles that you're gonna find there, like probably some Western painted turtles or red-eared sliders, but you got to make sure you know what kind of turtle you're getting. And if you are getting one that's invasive, you just got to make sure you keep him in long terms. No letting him loose in the wild, because then he can probably go after our native reptiles, and that wouldn't be good. So you got to be really careful what kind of reptiles or turtle you get.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Let's see, Bethany. Over in the corner of the two boys with the blue shirts.
Good.
Yeah, go ahead.
David and Caleb.
Are you going to show more animals?
Am I going to show more animals? No. So in our episodes, I only show one in each week. So last week we did a parrot. So she was the animal star for the week. And then this week it's about TT the tortoise. And then next week, I don't know. I guess you'll have to tune in next week to see what I bring out.
I keep telling Kat that she should bring in the tiger or the lion, but apparently that's not a safe thing to bring into the office. So perhaps we aren't going to do that.
No, I as cool as that'd be, I prefer my body. That's a 400-pound tiger. All right, Sophia and Lucas, have your hands raised. So let's just wait.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
How big is the tortoise's shell?
How big is a tortoise's shell? Oh goodness, I honestly do not know this circumference of his shell. That is a good question. I'll have to measure it next time so I could write that one down. And if you're here next week, I can let you know how big a tortoise's shell is, whether it's Boris, our spur African tortoise, or TT. Yes, I think it's Sophia next to you.
I think I muted them.
Oh yeah, you're muted. Wait a second.
I gotcha. There you go.
Okay, go ahead. Your question.
How long have you had TT?
How long have we had TT? Oh goodness. We have had TT for actually quite a long time. We haven't had him for 44 years, I'll tell you that. But he's been here longer than me. I've worked at the Greater Vancouver Zoo for about 2 years, and he's been here a lot longer than that. But I don't know the exact years he's been here, but he's had a pretty good record here. Yeah, for sure. All right, who else is next? We have the little girl with the polka dots, pink dress.
Michaela.
Michaela. All right, Michaela, go ahead.
Ask your question.
How big can a turtle get?
How big can a turtle get? Well, our Western painted turtles have been average sized about 30 kilograms, like their weight. They're pretty big turtle. They're about that big. They can be pretty big. TT here. This is as big as a spur-thighed tortoise is going to get. Now we do have another spur-thighed tortoise that's a little bit smaller. It's about maybe a little half the size of TT. But yeah, a lot of them range in different sizes, but this is normally as big as they'll get. They're not like our big tortoises out in the enclosure. Boris, he's pretty big. He's about 100 pounds. He's 100 pounds. He doesn't weigh 100 pounds, or I'd be like pretty muscly right now. Thanks for your question. Sam. All right, go ahead, Sam.
How much weight is that turtle?
How much weight is he?
Yes.
Well, I haven't weighed him, but when I'm holding him, he feels at less than 5 pounds. So he feels maybe between 3 pounds, a 3-pound tortoise. But when I'm holding him for a lot longer up in the air, his weight really kind of sits in with me, and it feels more like he's a 10-pound tortoise. But I'm pretty sure he's not a heavy tortoise. Thanks for your question. All right, who else has one? Lacey. All right, go ahead.
Which animals are illegal to have?
Which animals are illegal? Oh, wow. So the ones that are illegal to have is we have the plated lizard. He is pretty big. He's illegal to have. We have the Mexican cantal. It is a poisonous snake. That's illegal to have. Some of our Burmese pythons can be illegal. You have to have a certain permit to own kind of bigger snakes like that. And of course, the caiman. So a type of crocodile, alligator. I'm sure if you guys have seen those in a vivarium. Yeah, they used to be somebody's pet, and that was definitely illegal. You should not have caiman or any type of alligator as a pet. Same with our alligator Pandora. She was somebody's pet as well. She was captured in Florida. So that's not very good to have either. Yeah, I could keep listing them on and on. We should have just our own private chat. Thanks for your question, Lacey. So we got Grayson and Cole at the top.
I
Right,
have
go ahead.
a pet.
You have a pet?
No, a husky's a pet.
You're right. A husky is a type of pet. Yeah, so it's
And
type
it's
of
a
dog.
better.
What's that?
It's a better.
Yeah, that's really cute. But you're very smart, very wise. Only get a dog. Okay, anybody else have any questions? No. Oh, we got Sophie. Okay, go ahead.
I want to get a venomous snake when I'm older.
You want to get a venomous snake when you're older? That's terrifying.
In case someone breaks in, I have venomous.
Well, wouldn't a dog be better for that? Venomous snakes are a little terrifying.
But not for me.
Not for you? Well,